Dr. Sean here, reviewing some more science. Okay, the topic of Alzheimer's dementia. Dementia is exploding. Never had this before in the numbers that we're having it. So if you want to avoid having cognitive decline, memory impairment, dementia in any form, you're going to want to watch this video and learn what the problem is, okay? So let's get into it. This is a new study that just came out about, about 4 days ago. Well, now closer to, it's December 2nd is when it actually came out. And what they found is in individuals 20 years before they had dementia, they went back and looked at fat depots. Those are different types of fat in the body. And what they looked at in particular was subcutaneous fat, and they did not distinguish between superficial, the good stuff, okay, that I'm always harping on, from the bad stuff, which is deep subcutaneous fat. And they also looked at muscle fat, fat in the thighs. They looked at specifically the ratio of fat to, fat to muscle in these thighs. So it wasn't what I would have recommended doing, but that's what they did. And they also looked at insulin resistance, and they looked at visceral fat. And what they found was there was a relationship between insulin resistance, a modest amount, predicting Alzheimer's dementia later, 20 years in life. But they, in particular, found a very strong connection, the strongest of all the predictive values of looking at these markers was in visceral fat. So what does that mean? It means you don't want to have visceral fat in your abdomen. You don't want to have it anywhere in your body. So visceral fat is connected in this study. So I'm going to step away just so you can get a screenshot of that. Tip it down a little bit and get a screenshot. Boy, that's really hard. I need my production assistant. Okay, so get a screenshot of that. This is from one of my favorite sources of getting science, ScienceDaily.com. That's the website, ScienceDaily.com. So take a screenshot of that, and you can take a screenshot of the abstract, and you can look at the association between body fat localization, insulin resistance, and amyloid burden in midlife. So now you can pull the abstract if you'd like to pull studies and read it. I give you a link to that. All right, related to this also is another factor they looked at was blood flow. So in addition to signs of dementia, they looked at factors that influence cerebral blood flow or blood flow to the brain. And they looked at pretty much the same thing. They looked at visceral fat and they looked at muscle fat. So it's interesting that that they looked at that, and they found that there was a strong connection in visceral fat decreasing blood flow, but not from subcutaneous fat. So my comment is still the same. It's disappointing that these researchers did not look and differentiate between superficial subcutaneous fat and deep subcutaneous fat. So had they done that, here's what I wonder about. Would we have seen that there was a relationship to diminished blood flow with elevated deep subcutaneous fat causing decreased blood flow, and maybe the opposite, superficial subcutaneous fat increasing blood flow? So not just decreasing, but actually benefiting blood flow. So it wasn't looked at, and I think that was a big mistake. So it's why the importance of subcutaneous fat is really important, and it's why we take a look at it in our clients. So let me just review it for the sake of you here, so you can see what superficial subcu fat is from deep subcutaneous fat. So the delineation is this black line here, Scarpa's membrane, Scarpa's fascia. So this is subcutaneous fat, but there's two compartments, and they're bricks and clouds different, so I always say that, but it's important to know. This secretes really good beneficial molecule called adiponectin, adiponectin. Read about it, write it down, fall in love with it. It's another one of my favorite words, is autophagy. And this is deep subcutaneous fat, and it's really bad because it secretes inflammatory molecules just like visceral fat. So you're going to want to know the difference between deep subcutaneous fat and superficial subcutaneous fat. So you want to get an MRI to distinguish it. You can see it also in a CT scan, and we're working with people, if they come to our practice, looking at old CTs to see where they're at with visceral fat, muscle fat, deep subcutaneous fat, and superficial subcutaneous fat. If you're interested in working with us, you can go to my website, and which is in my profile in YouTube, or you can go to growingbetternotolder.com, or you can just go to my website, drshawnamara.com, and get information about working with us. So this deep subcutaneous fat is really bad stuff, but they never looked at it. They just threw it all together. And because they didn't do that, we missed the opportunity to show this benefit that superficial subcutaneous fat has. Of course, all this white stuff in here is visceral fat inside one of my clients who came to me, who's a business executive, and I'll be doing a video on him probably in the near future, how much he improved. This guy was motivated. So we like to work with business executives because I hate to tell you, they just have very unusual motivation because they're just, particularly if they own a business, they just really want it to be the very best. So it's an exploitable factor or feature in clients that we're looking to get the best results in. All right, a couple facts, interesting things. I just left my sauna, okay? So you might be able to see my face is a little bit plethoric, a little red, erythematous, because of vasodilatation from nitric oxide. So saunas, I'll do another video about saunas, but they really diminish your risk for dementia. In one study, 60%. So you just really want to be doing a sauna every single day. You should be doing a sauna for about 15 to 20 minutes for about 175 degree temperature. And I recommend the dry finish sauna, not the red infrared. More studies have been done on the dry finish kind. And I continue to have concerns about the infrared penetrating you too deep beyond where we have biological adaptive mechanisms to help protect us from infrared rays that we're adapted to from the sun. So sauna is a great strategy you should be doing. And I'm fasting. I really love fasting. I think it brings out superpowers for me. I'm on 96 hours right now. So actually, yeah, 96 hours, just hit it. I'll be hitting it in 5 minutes. So when I hit this video and it's done, I'm going to go upstairs and eat a lot of red meat and microbes. Okay, living carnivore diet. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed these two studies and you got screenshots of them and you can pull these and learn about it. I love reviewing science. I'll be offering a new program called Alpha Maker, where I'll be covering science in a group setting, in group calls, giving my clients the most amount of information. And I will be also talking in a discovery call that you should be able to sign in and learn more about working with me if you're interested in working one-on-one or in the numerous ways that my practice provides service and quality science to individuals who are looking to be the best biological versions of themselves. All right, well, I appreciate you staying for the length of this video. As always, I welcome comments, questions, suggestions, recommendations for future content. And please forward this to anybody you know that may have dementia. One little fact I want to mention too, I forgot to tell you, is, do you know it's a tragedy just getting dementia, but it's really sad. I recently learned that 61% of the caretakers providing care to a person with dementia, and it's very taxing. 61% of the caretakers will die before the demented person. So I'm just going to come out and tell you, don't you dare freaking blow this off, get demented, and then leave that to somebody. That ticks me off. I'm going to tell you like it is. Don't be selfish. It's one thing if you never knew about this, but now you do. So I don't care if you come to me or not, but you better get rid of that visceral fat. Find out about it. And don't be like everybody online. Well, I don't have any visceral fat because I'm thin. You don't know how much visceral fat until you get scanned. You know, I'm a 32-inch waist. And my research partner was filled with visceral fat almost as much as this with 31-inch waist. So you just don't know. So please forward to anybody you know that's been recently diagnosed with early dementia or has visceral fat. Have them be aware of this connection because it's really steeped in science and it's just blowing up. Visceral fat is blowing up. If you haven't done something about your visceral fat, it's time you act on it. All right, well, thank you very much for staying with me in the course of this video, and I will look for more opportunities to bring you content to biologically optimize. Dr. Sean out. Shh.